Vanessa Garcia Clark and her husband Andres adore their son Emmett.
Full of energy and activity. I wish I had all that he does. I have coffee, he doesn't.
Clark wanted a non-traditional birth, something more personal than a hospital room. She hired a midwife and delivered Emmett at home.
Our midwife was pretty clear about it up front that we would pay cash for her services in increments throughout the pregnancy, and then she would provide us with a super bill at the end of the care that we could then submit to insurance. And the entire amount that was asked to be reimbursed by insurance was about $9,700.
Clark paid her midwife in full and waited on their insurance company to reimburse them.
You have a healthy, happy, satisfied customer, and then you're paying less than you would if I had gone elsewhere. So after the fact, once they saw the bill, I thought they'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. We should do this more often, you know? And that, of course, isn't what happened.
Her benefits administrator denied the claim. She sent the insurance company a request for an internal appeal, arguing that because of the Affordable Care Act, prenatal and well child care are all covered services under their health plan, and therefore cannot be denied, regardless of the provider she chose. But insurance denied her claim again, saying Clark's midwife was not a certified midwife, and because certified midwives are not covered, they'll uphold the denial. So you may be asking, what's the difference? According to the American College of Nurse Midwives, a certified nurse midwife is a registered nurse who also has completed intensive graduate level studies in midwifery. A certified midwife also goes through a graduate level nurse midwifery program. The main difference is they are not RNs. Then there are also certified professional midwives who go through training specific to the birthing field, but may not have taken a traditional nursing or healthcare college track. That's the type of provider Clark's midwife is, and she's also licensed in the state of California. All of these different definitions and who qualifies for reimbursement and why are part of what has Clark so confused and outraged.
I think the system is kind of built to demoralize and exhaust you.
One of the problems in this country is that we have split midwifery up into different kinds of midwives. When it comes to home birth, each of those kinds is totally qualified to do that kind of work.
Dr. Mari Breen Rothman is director of MAMAS, which stands for Metro Area Midwives and Allied Services, located in Maryland.
When you go to a certified nurse midwife or a certified midwife or a certified professional midwife, doesn't matter what kind of midwife, when you go to any of those midwives, they're all going to do the same things that happen at any prenatal visit with an obstetrician at the same intervals. Plus, they're going to do a whole bunch more stuff. They're going to do nutritional counseling and checking on the person's mental health.
Which is why Dr. Rothman feels insurance companies should expand their coverage to acknowledge all midwives, helping make the mother's cost a little bit easier.
There should be federal laws that mandate that women have the right to choose what kind of provider they want and where they want to have their birth.
Dr. David Anderson, professor of economics at Centre College in Kentucky, collected data on at-home births and found the average cost of a home birth is around $4,650, significantly below existing cost estimates if it's a low-risk birth.
If 1% of women shifted from having a birth in the hospital to having a birth at home, that would be a collective savings for our country of $321 million. So the decisions, the policies by governments and the policies by insurance companies matter a lot.
Since November, we've contacted Clark's insurance administrator multiple times by email and phone to explain her denial. The company said in an email that it makes decisions based on plan requirements and applicable law, and said due to a respect for privacy, the spokesperson declined to comment on Clark's case. Midwifery care and at-home births have been around for generations. The interest in home births saw a spike during the pandemic, going from 38,000 to over 45,000 between 2019 and 2020, the highest level since at least 1990. For some mothers, at-home births are not only a different option, but cost-effective.
For those who may say or give up on the fact of like, oh, I want a non-traditional birth, but it just doesn't seem feasible. I mean, what advice would you give to them? Would you say don't give up on that fact?
Well, I mean, there are some people who do, some midwives who do non-traditional births in hospitals, so you may be able to work something out ahead of time that way.
Dr. Elizabeth Rosenthal, editor-in-chief of Kaiser Health News, says before you give birth, ask your insurance provider very detailed questions so you're not caught by surprise.
So you can say, yes, I'd like a payment plan. Before you do that, though, try and negotiate. Say, wow, $9,000 sounds like a lot of money for an uncomplicated birth. How about I'll give you $5,000? And the really weird thing is often they'll say, $5,000 up front, we'll take it, right? So never say, I'll just pay the first bill. Always say, like, can I give you less, and will you take it?
Clark doesn't regret her decision. She just hopes that by speaking out about this issue, it will shed light on a topic she feels is rarely discussed.
What kept me going was that I felt like if I put in this extra time, maybe, just maybe, change would happen and other women wouldn't have to fight so hard and they'd get to be able to bond with their babies.